And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Factorio in our 1.0 series. Now, I would like to get a train station set up, a system to unload trains at the main base, because as we start adding things and stuff to our smelting and other places that we can run and get different materials. Yeah, I'm gonna need to bring that over because we're getting some activity up here. Anyway, as you can see, I've carved out a huge area for the base. Just using some natural landscapes as a barrier, and sort of homogenizing all of my defenses into one cohesive system. You don't have to do that if you don't want, but it is what it is. So, when it comes to trains, there are a myriad of ways that you can set this up, and it's all based on personal preference. And it looks like this is in the wrong place. That should be a chain signal. Okay, so I'm using the blueprint book that is linked in the description. The text string I have covered in the past, where you can import string right down here, import string, paste that string in there, and you get the same blueprint book that I am using. Okay, and so this is several of the straight sections, and then this is the sort of the tee off here. And we are going to customize this to what we actually need. And then we're gonna take this spot here. We're going to take this away here. Now again, there are so many different ways to set the system up. It's really down to personal preference. So what we're going to do in this instant, one of the things that I've loved is a system that allows us to store quite a few trains in one system. Okay. So we're going to go up again, and then we're going to say, I want another branch like that. And the reason they're diagonal is we can put signals diagonally. If they were right next to one another going vertically, they would not allow signals. And so this really is able to pack them in. Now, how many train cars that you have also determines a little bit of your layout. So, if you have longer or shorter cars, you're going to have to adjust this to meet those needs. I am partial to a 1-4 system, one engine with 4 cars behind it. So when you put like a signal here, you can see it's highlighted the first 5 engines, or the first 5 slots, right? And so you want enough space to hold all of those. So it looks like we're going to need to go a little bit further. Like that, to give us the offset we need. Now, these are going to need to go like that. I knew that was going to be in the way. I just had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay, so let's line these back up. This can join right in like that. Now, let me explain. I did a tidbits video a long time ago on the signals. And let me cover that again here. Okay, when a train is pathfinding, when it's trying to find, and when it's traveling down the line, the rail between signals is counted as a block. And it's really easy to visualize that now because they added coloration to the blocks. You can see the different colors of the different blocks. Okay, so these are cycling different colors. That means when a train is coming in, it's going to basically reserve that block for itself. When a train is coming by, it's going to say this is going to be green. It's going to say we can go along there. As soon as that train enters that block is now unavailable, rendering the signals approaching it red and saying no more trains can go in that. And so any train coming in after is going to have to stop at the signal before it can move on. The block has to be available and free. That is what a regular signal does. It is just to separate the blocks. Now, the chain signal is a little different because it looks ahead of itself, and it will only be green if there's a path out of the next block. So if this were to be red, but this is green, this would be yellow, saying we have a path out, but depending on where you want to go, it can be blocked. If it's red, that means there are no paths out and to stop trains at the signal. This allows the signal, the chain signal, to stop traffic through it if the block has no outlet, which really helps keep traffic out of your junctions like that. So you won't have a train partially loading up to here because there's a chain signal there. If this is red, this will prevent trains from entering that block, preventing it from getting all clogged up. Now, overuse of chain signals is very common because they're like, well, how do you like run traffic through? And this number of chain signals, I'm going to be interested to see how this behaves because there are a lot of different blocks here. If we select a signal, you can see all the different colors in here. Every one of these sections, like this entire center here, is one block. If any train is in there, it blocks traffic from every other direction. Anything trying to get around or get through will be blocked because this intersection is taken up. And so the block pathfinding is really, really important. So with these, this is basically going to be a queue system. And so we're going to want, I'm going to copy, oh, I can't really copy that, can I? Let's just copy the very beginning here. So there's that. Let's offset it to there, to there. Well, and then one more, I guess. One more for the road. We're getting power from up here, so I don't need to worry about that too much. And then let's copy the end. Make sure those line up. That lines up, and that lines up. And if you hit Shift, when you click this arrow, it will ghost the track, and the bots will take care of it for you. Gotta be careful when you click, though, because wow, does that... Ooh. Oh, no, wrong direction. Okay, right there. Thank you. All right, so how do we want to set the signals up? This is basically going to allow trains to queue up in order to offload up here. Why? Where did all those come from? Wow. So what we want to do is we want to set up a chain signal at the very beginning of this stack, okay? And then we're going to set up regular signals at the start of each one of these. And you can see the colors change. And as soon as we place that, that is now a single block with multiple outlets, many, many outlets. Up here, we want to put chain signals in like that, So now this is each one of these, even though they're colored the same, they're all separate blocks. And we have enough space in there for our basically 4 wagons and the engine. Okay, so that is essentially a queuing system for the trains themselves. Now we can come in and have some offloaders. So we're going to come in, and when you shift like this, you can really build a lot. We're going to have some offloaders. Now you want these to have a bit of space with them. Because you need space for inserters or loaders, you need space for possibly, I don't know, if you want chests, you could have warehouses. So you have plenty of options. But again, you're going to want multiple outlets depending on how you're setting up your network. I usually like to leave quite a bit of space in there. That's not enough. That's a pretty good amount. And then we can copy that offset and then paste. Why is that off? Like that. There we go. And then we can click and finalize that. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have one of each for our main resources. So we're going to, oh, that's so dark. We're going to have one for like iron and copper. We're going to have one for steel and maybe some extras like plastic. I mean, there are a few crafts in here that use plastic. I do believe, yeah, there's a few crafts in here that use plastic, but we're going to start transitioning, so a lot of our stuff is going to be made elsewhere, and we're just going to dump it into this system to supply what we need. So iron and copper, steel and miscellaneous, and we're going to have one for circuits. Now, to connect all of these, see, these chain signals are looking ahead at these blocks, and right now this is all one block. So we want to make sure that trains do not sit in this area here. So we're going to do regular signals. So these are going to look ahead and they're going to see these signals. If these signals are green and the train waiting behind it is wanting to go there, it'll free it up. If we didn't put signals in here, or if we really went overboard and put a bunch of signals in here, let's say we put a signal right there, okay, and a train wants to come in here. If a train wants to come up to the top and it's waiting down here, this chain signal will look ahead and see this one is green, and it will allow the train through. Once that train is sitting in here, this signal will go red, but this one will be green. Okay? Meaning let's say the next train that comes in wants to also come up here. Well, it'll come up to the signal. The signal will look ahead to this one. Okay? It will be green, but this one will be red. So it'll allow the train through, which will stop right here. And that train will overhang out to here, blocking all of the other traffic. So until the first train that's up here already, that goes, this train goes, then the system will start again. So you don't want to overuse signals in your system. You just don't want to do that. Okay, let's look at stations. Now stations, again, we're going to go 1-4 system. So you can see if we offset it right about there, we want to line these up. That's fine. Let's clear that. Clear that. clear that one. The stations themselves sort of act like their own signals. It's kind of a block in here already. But in order to expedite the train, we are going to have this offloader. So the trains, when they're done... No, I want... Stop. I want you to be as tight as possible. Like that. And we have room for one more offload if we need it. So the rest of this is going to come down. And let's try to be symmetrical with it. Oh, that's not symmetrical at all, is it? We're going to come up to about right there. Kind of, yeah, there we go. That's kind of where it is. And then we're going to offset. Come on, just give it to me. There we go. Right in there like that. Now I'm going to put signals on the other side of the train because this is all one block. As you can see, the coloration, it's all one block. And we do not want a train leaving here to block a train wanting to come up here. So we're going to put signals on the other side of the train stops in order to get them to go down. And then we're just going to add some signals. So that's one block now. And then we're going to come down here. I like to put signals spaced so at least one train can fit. So like every time you see a stop like that, and then before we enter this block, we want a chain signal in here. And that will protect the block itself. Because it will look forward and it will see this chain signal and this signal, so the trains themselves will be able to kind of back themselves up along this route. But that is the gist of our train system. We have now a system that we can have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trains. We can have 10 trains servicing this area up here before the system would start to back up. And I really, really like the queuing system like this. Really, really like it. It works so well when you're trying to really unload a lot of trains all at once. But again, if you misplace the signals or if you put too many of them, the system will have problems. May not have them right away, but as you add trains and you get a really robust system going, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna bite you. All right. Now, one thing you can do is you need to set up something to fuel all the trains, and we'll get there. But this is where loaders really come in handy, because you can use loaders to unload the train, and they're really, really, really fast. One thing that's wise is to try and unload them evenly. Not always easy by any stretch. So look on the Factorio Blueprints .com site for belt balancers. Belt balancers are one of the blueprints, one of the blueprint books that I have in here somewhere. There it is. Bilka's belt balancers. So there's tons and tons of belt balancers in there, and what that does, if you have 4 coming off, it allows you to balance all the belts so that the train unloads evenly. And that's very important when you're trying to get a system up and running. It's not vital, but it's very helpful to see the train unload evenly. So I would like to automate engines and cargo wagons. Now this should be relatively straightforward. We have a lot of shenanigans going on in here though. So wagons, steel, iron, and gears. Well, we have steel right here. We have iron right here. And we have gears right here. Can we possibly sneak this in here? Okay, this is going to be cargo wagon. The engines themselves is just steel and circuits. We might be able to fling those right there. So this is going to be the engines. And we just need to bring in engine units. That's the only outside thing we need there. 20 of them. Let's do a requester chest. We're going to do a buffer chest. We're going to do an output. We're going to connect you, saying when engines are less than, I mean, we don't need many of these, so 5. We're going to do the same over here. When wagons, let's do 12. That's 3 trains worth of wagons. So when wagons are less than 12, when engines are less than 5. So you, and then you, and then we're going to want some regular engine units, and we're going to want 100 of those. And request from buffer chests. And it is, again, 20 engine units. All right. So they build pretty fast, actually. It's pretty amazing. So you don't need a lot in your system. So we're gonna grab the first set there, and we'll show what happens when you add trains and all the signaling that happens. Okay, so let's get down here and watch these signals. When I place these trains, bingo. You can see they turn blue. I thought it was yellow, but it's blue. Blue means there is a way out, but depending on your path, you need to stay up here. Okay. So if we finish all of these, then they turn red, saying no more trains can be here. Everybody needs to wait their turn because there's no way out. Let me grab the engines back, and we'll go down to an intersection and show what happens when there's trains. It's really hard to see when they're moving around because sometimes they can move really fast. Okay, so if we put an engine in one of these, this will turn red, this signal. This will turn blue. But you can see this is still green, this is still green, saying there's paths up there, right? It's good to go. So if we put then one right in here, now this one's red. But this one is still green. Why is this green? Because this is a different set right here. So if we want this one to prevent trains from coming in here and blocking anything, taking this signal out will turn this one blue. Meaning it sees this as red and it sees this as green. This is blue. Saying, oh, we have a way through, but if you need to go up, you're going to have to wait back here. If we put the signal over here and a train needs to come up here in this situation, it's just going to sit down here and it's going to block any train from coming in, which is why I like having sort of a buffer system in there. Okay, so we're going to take that away. Now, let's go over here to this super complex. Do I have... I do. I have biters gnawing. Oh, Jesus. Where did they come from? I bet you they snuck up through here and snuck up through here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remedy that. All that stuff, it can be replaced with automation. So I'm not worried about replacing anything, but it kind of sucks that it happened in the first place. All right, so this monstrosity, if we start placing things in here, let's see when something is in the middle here. Oink. Okay, this is saying this is blocked. This path is blocked because there's a train in this purple area here. So this block is occupied. This signal is looking ahead and saying, oh man, this one's blocked, I'm going to be blocked too. So it's going, nope, there's no way out, I'm going to be red too. This one sees that there is a way up here. This one is green. So this one has to be blue. Because it's saying if you're going north, you can go ahead and go north. But if you're going straight, you're going to have to wait back here. If we put one up here, that turns red. Because now there's no way out. There's no way to move through here. Okay, so if we... let's block this one. So now this is saying there's no way out because this one is saying there's no way out, which means this one has no way out, which means this one say, oh, you can go straight through here. It's like the only path that you can. If it needs to turn, it's going to stop right here. Or it's going to stop back here. It'll probably stop back here. Because this is red, this is going to stop. But it allows trains to go through this way if there's one over here. So this path is free. Several other paths are free in here. Now if we then block this guy, now we have a whole lot that are closed off. We basically shut down almost all the routes in this interchange except we can go right here, we can go right here, we can go right here, but we can't go straight from here to here, can't go straight to here, and then this line here is blocked as well. Why is this blocked? This is blocked because this one is blocked in here. So if we really wanted to tweak this a little, we would have to put a chain signal right there. That makes this green, which allows, it would literally allow a train to come up and through. Except now. We were right on the edge of that one. So we could, with this, we could turn and kind of take this over, but that's not ideal. So I'm going to remove that. If a train is this far, we want that train to continue going. We want it out of the system. So again, I'll be interested to see how efficient and good this works. I just think it's weird that the person that put these together, you have straights here, but not up and down. Like why do that? The normal system I use is a circle. It's sort of like a roundabout, right? And that's what I usually use. All right. Well, I hope that answered questions on the train system. We will continue building up our network and our trains as we progress. But, you know, I wanted to cover the bases to give you guys time to ask questions about the system and about maybe problems you're having or whatnot. The last thing to do is make sure you rename your stations and come up with some naming scheme. So this one's going to be iron, copper. And you can colorize them and all sorts of things. Okay. So you can colorize that stuff. This one's going to be main base, steel, miscellaneous. I don't know what all is going to go in there. And then this can be like a blue. This is going to be main base circuits. And then you can be let's do like a purple or pink. So main base circuits. And you can colorize the trains themselves too. And you just hit R on this, by the way. That's just all I'm doing. So you can copy and paste the color of the station to the train pretty easily. And then wagons hook up automatically. So if we want to paste that color and paste that color. Again, shift right click, shift left click. Paste the colors. All right, well, we have ourselves a little bit of a rail system, which is excellent. I mean, granted, they're not functional at the moment, but you know, we'll get there. And now that all those are red, again, all of these are red, which prevents a train from coming in here and stopping and blocking the rest of it. So you don't want any signals. No signals in between. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. And I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.